between Inahachi and Superlek Kyatmukau. We are set for 5 rounds. Inahachi, the world champion. Superlek Kyatmukau, the challenger.
Ready?
Will the kicking machine open up with a heavy artillery off his right leg early? Both in orthodox stance. Inahachi high on the balls of his feet. Superlek will plant himself a little more, but be very light on the front foot, using the time march to close the gap.
Pay very close attention to Ilias Inahachi approaching the kicking range of Superlek. Look for Superlek to disrupt that forward pressure with that right roundhouse kick and also those teeps. He's great at timing the entry of movement with those front teeps.
Inahachi. Clean, long athlete. Outside leg kick to the sciatic there from Superlek Kyatmukau.
Superlek's having a little trouble with his footing on this canvas.
He was claiming a slippery part of the canvas, but Olivia Cost had a look and said there's nothing wrong with it. Southpaw stance, good skip up round kick, taekwondo style there from Inahachi. These are the sort of techniques that Superlek isn't used to. You don't see those in Muay Thai. Fake off the back leg there from Superlek.
I don't know if that was a fake or a slip, actually, again.
Yeah, it looked like he went to throw, and he probably could have been a feint, but he definitely slipped there.
Look how high up on the balls of the feet Inahachi is. Constantly moving, constantly springing. Like a jack-in-the-box. Inahachi posing danger with that lead leg. Very bladed stance on Inahachi. Look how side on he is. Oh, Superlek turning back kick to the groin. Oh, not where he wanted to plant that. He was going for the midsection, went a little too low.
Just before that kick to the groin landed, I'll say this. I don't know if you noticed before, but Superlek slipped with his lead leg again, the 3rd time. I don't know if it's the ankle straps that he has on or whatnot, but this is going to prove to be an issue for him.
Maybe the ankle straps, because I've never seen him slip like this before. It's certainly not the canvas. Now, Olivia Cost, of course, resided in Thailand for many, many years. There's a look at the straps. Could that be the problem here on Superlek?
I don't think so, because he's on the balls of his feet. I just don't think he's quite found his footing.
There's some nerves coming into play for Superlek. You figure the guy's seen it all. But you know what? He hasn't in kickboxing. He's got 126 wins. All but one of those has been in Muay Thai. High kick there from Superlek. Yet to find any sort of rhythm, any sort of beat off that right leg. The most feared weapon. And again, there was that little slip as he was about to draw the rear leg up reach.
Yeah, this is going to be problematic because if he's having trouble firing, this is going to give Inahachi the ability to just kind of attack at will.
Good look at the stance again there. More squared up is Superlek. More side on, that bladed stance on Inahachi. Inahachi looking very confident. Still just dipping their toes in the water here, seeing what each other has to offer. Inahachi will want to test the power of Superlek, see what that right leg is like and how he can handle it. Front kick there from Inahachi, bounds in, bounds out.
When you look at Superlek's rear leg right now, especially before he kicks, before he launches that thing, he does have a fairly flat stance, and he doesn't look to have high arches either. So maybe it is these ankle wraps that are catching the canvas for him, or slipping on the canvas, I should say.
I love how you call it that thing. It is inhuman, that weapon he possesses in that right leg. Well, end of the first round. We're going to take a look again. Some action first from that opening round. Good stuff from Inahachi, and not settled at all, Superlek.
Yeah, he's definitely having a hard time finding his groove. I don't know if it's the footwork, the slippage, but there's a nice little counter to the forward pressure coming from Inahachi as Superlek tried to go high but was caught off balance. It's definitely a problem with his footwork. Something's not quite right for Superlek. You often see coaches pour water into onto the canvas, just so an athlete can kind of get a little bit of grip onto their feet. And we haven't quite seen that from Superleg.
Yeah, I actually used to use oranges, like rub oranges on the bottom of my feet because they're sticky, and that would help me. But the battle for me, anytime I was inside the cage or inside the circle like this, would be to take ownership of that centerpiece of the canvas, because there's a logo there, and the gripping is much better on that logo. So I would be all over that Xiaomi logo with my lead foot, for sure.
I know a lot of old school guys who used to dip their feet in Coca-Cola to give them grip. Outside leg kick attempt there from Superleg. Second round of 5. First round, I went unofficially 10-9 to Inahachi, Rich. Agreed, Mitch. Agreed all round. 10-9 Inahachi, unofficially in our scorecards. Little tango there. Tens
across the board. Here we go with Inahachi, trying to create that movement. He's so evasive, always on the balls of his feet, moving in and out.
And again, it's the problems Inahachi presents, stuff that Superleg hasn't seen before. Can Superleg start to possibly get a read on Inahachi? Petdam couldn't, and Inahachi destroyed Petdam.
But in a lot of Superleg's matches, right about that halfway point of the second round, you really start to see him level up. He starts to figure out timing, understand the distance, and then he starts to let go of that right kick.
Left hook there from Inahachi. There's the right hand from the champion. Flurrying forward now, the looping punches. Look at the extension of Inahachi, and Superleg ties him up.
And you can just see Inahachi there. He actually walked, which is typically a no-no, switching your leads and coming forward. But as he's doing it, he's throwing strikes while he's technically not planted with good power.
That's the problem that Petdam had with Inahachi's movement. It's just that constant forward pressure. It's almost like Demetrius Johnson, how he punches, he comes forward, he changes stances, and he just keeps attacking from different angles.
In Muay Thai, there's much more planting your feet and standing in front of your opponent. And that's what Superleg's used to, and that's how he gets those kicks off. But how do you start the kicking machine? How do you wind it up against a guy like Inahachi, who is always moving offline?
I don't know if you noticed there after the break, but when Olivier tried pushing it back, Superleg basically said, I am not stepping out of this logo.
Heard you reach. Good outside leg kick there from Superleg. 1 minute remaining, second of 5.
That's what Superleg needs to do. He has to go after those legs, just start hammering on them, slow down this perpetual motion coming from Elias Inahachi.
Inahachi blocked that leg. Drifts off to his left. Into the power side of Superleg, now away from it. Lateral movement here from the champion. Superleg winds up a single strike. Needs to start some combination work. Needs to find a way to stop the movement here of Inahachi. Inahachi continually making Superleg guess. Lots of instructions from the champion's corner. Knees on the inside. You must be offensive in the clinch under kickboxing rules. It can never be a defensive clinch. Counter hook from Inahachi. Some better striking from Superleg in the second round.
I'm just going to say that both of those rear foot was on a logo. The first one was in the center. The second one was on, I think it was a Food Panda logo.
Interesting call earlier on from Rich Franklin, who said that he would have planted himself on a logo, no slipping.
Look at those hand combinations thrown by Inahachi. Superleg might not be slipping on the logos, but Inahachi is slipping and dodging and coming back with a lot of combinations, especially very heavy in the hands. He said he wanted to start the first with the hand combinations, maybe make an adjustment. He didn't seem to need to make an adjustment. It'll be interesting to see Rodtang, how Rodtang deals with Elias Inahachi's movement, because, it's going to be an interesting battle between no matter who Rodtang faces.
Rodtang has called out the winner of this one. He wants a crack at the flyweight kickboxing world title. Don't forget, Rodtang is already the Muay Thai world champion here at One Super Series. He wants to be a two-sport world champion. Boys, I had the second round going the way of Superleg, just 10-9.
I thought it was a pretty even round. I'm going to split that one 10-10. I didn't see a significant advantage for either one of those guys.
I do like the leg kicks landed by Superleg in that second round, but it was pretty close. But Elias is just still scoring with the hand combinations.
How are you scoring it, folks? Wherever you're watching in over 150 countries worldwide on our global broadcast. Let us know on social media at One Championship. On Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Good counter. Left hand there from Inahachi. Drifts off clockwise.
Ilias checked the kick with his forearm and then came back with a punch. That was beautiful.
Superlek trying to close down the movement. There's been no chance to wind up multiple kicks for the challenger so far. Cracks that one to the forearm. Now you may say, well, those kicks are getting blocked, but they are designed to go to the forearm, break down the forearm, to try and drop the forearm of Inahachi so Superlek can then loop over to the head, come through clean.
And you can see how Superlek's kicks are starting to welt up the arm of Ilias Inahachi, so that arm might slowly start to come down. He's landed a lot of shots in that forearm.
I like Superlek's strategy in this round. He's walking Inahachi down, walking Inahachi to the cage, and then basically launching his strikes with the rear leg right there. Again,
this is the timing I was talking about. Right around that middle portion of the second round, that's when Superlek really starts to find his groove. He seems to have solved the slippage problem and is now pushing forward and trying to corner Ilias Inahachi with that right kick.
And I think we're seeing less volume from Inahachi right now. This has been a good round for Superlek.
Well, his primary weapon has been his arms, and you can just see the damage that's accumulating on that left arm.
Matrix-style lean back there from Inahachi. 45 seconds remains, third of 5. Our world title main event here at One Championship, Fists of Fury. Keeping it nice and clean, Olivier Coste. On the front foot, trying to close down Inahachi's movement, landed around, kicks off the back leg. Now he winds up a couple in a row.
See, this is the tactical change that Superlek's doing. He's normally a great counter striker. He waits to make you miss, and then he makes you pay for it. But this time, he's starting to go first. He's initiating the conversation by throwing these right kicks at Ilias Inahachi. Ilias Inahachi needs to have an answer for that right kick.
Little parry there from Inahachi. Good defense. Feint just before the bell from the champion. Of course.
Here's Ilias Inahachi trying to change those. Superlek just keeps going with that right kick over and over again, and he's starting to score with it. Even if it's just on the arm, he's still landing these kicks, and they're still doing damage.
2 rounds to go. I'll go a 10-9 Superlek in the second, 10-9 Superlek in the third, 10-9 Inahachi the first for a 29-28 card so far to Superlek.
I gave the first round to Inahachi. I split it on the second and gave the third round to Superlek, so I'm at 29-29 right now.
Even contest, says Rich Franklin. Mitch, did you give the third round to Superlek?
I think Superlek had a very strong round in that third. He's starting to really come into his own and find an answer for the movement. He's cornering Ilias Inahachi well, but this is where Inahachi starts to excel. Both these guys turn it up in the championship rounds.
Penultimate round here. Inahachi gets offline nicely to avoid that round kick. Good look at the side-on stance there of Inahachi.
Look at the way the Superlek is just walking forward and mowing him down and then launch that rear kick again.
Just for me, in the third round, guys, there was not enough output from the champion.
Superlek is a master at distance control. He shuts down clinchers, and he doesn't give them space to work. And then when people want space and they have that evasive movement, he creates this distance and range where he is at an advantage.
Inahachi is moving a lot, but he's not offering enough offensively.
He was in the first 2, but Superlek solved the puzzle. He solved the riddle of Ilias Inahachi's movement. Ilias needs to switch things up a little bit.
Inahachi waits out with the right hand. Superlek ties him up. 1:45 remaining. Solid round again for Superlek so far. Not too late, though, for Inahachi to turn it back in his favor. But he has not got the output that he had in the opening round in particular. Not working those angles, not flurrying forward, not looping the punches as much.
That that was a better combination. He threw the three-touch combination, and then he got out.
Uppercut. Off the hooking punches from Inahachi. Superlek walking him down. Breaks away to the forearm.
You see that body on the left side of Inahachi starting to redden up as well, not just the arm.
Superlek calling Inahachi forward. Wants to engage a little more here. Superlek Ketmukau. Kicking machine. Hasn't gotten into those double digits tonight. There's a double round kick.
If you notice, Superlek doesn't throw a kick when you're stationary. He kicks you when you're trying to move. When you're trying to initiate a shot, he throws you off balance. He catches you mid-footwork, so it disrupts your balance even more.
Head kick there from Superlek. Catch an attempted sweep from the champion. Shakes his head, says, no, didn't hurt me. Good one, tucks it under the left arm. That body getting banged up on Elias Inahachi.
See how he moves Inahachi with these kicks? It's because Elias is trying to throw something, so his weight is not perfectly distributed.
I'll tell you this much, whatever issues Superlek had at the beginning of this match with his footing, they fixed it.
Well, you know as well as anybody on, and it's going to create that just better footwork and placement. Look at this movement. Nice. Inahachi came in with the jab, missed on the jab, but closed the distance and landed with a nice right hand. A lot of those are deflected. Beautiful defense coming from Superlek. But then if that right kick is just scoring over and over again. Again, he's kicking Elias Inahachi off balance.
I had another round in the fourth for Superlek. I've got him 39-37 after 4, Rich.
I scored that round for Superlek as well.
So we're all in agreement. There's a lot for the champion to do to defend his title in the 5th and final round from inside the mighty Singapore Indoor Stadium. Limited crowd on hand. Have enjoyed a thrilling contest. On my scorecard, Inahachi has to knock out Superlek to retain the strap. That is unofficial, of course. We have 3 judges circle side. And nicely done early there from Inahachi. Not completely legal, though, under these kickboxing rules, but sending a message to Superlek that he is still here and will not be manhandled.
He might be there, but did you see the way Superlek evaded that high kick, landed the body kick? Elias couldn't do anything else but catch the kick and try to throw him down, which you're not allowed to do under kickboxing rules.
Superlek again, careening that right leg into the forearm, bicep, tricep, trying to tuck it under the left elbow of Inahachi. Both corners very vocal here. Inahachi tries for a counter hook reach.
Yeah, I think Inahachi has been used to countering and striking his opponents when he's off balance, like moving out at weird angles. But every time Superlek lands one of these kicks, it takes Inahachi so much off balance that he has an inability to actually counter off that.
Trying to scoop away that one, Inahachi. Drifting off counterclockwise now, away from the right leg. Inahachi comes forward, gets out of dodge. Looks like he was almost moonwalking, man. Trying to pose angles, but while he's moving so much, he's not landing anything that scores for him, Inahachi. Superlek continues to come forward. Inahachi tries to stick him with that left hook. 1:10 remains, 5th and final round.
You can see he's trying to circle away. He's circling to Rodlek's left side, which is avoiding the power. But what we're not seeing from Inahachi is that flurry of punches he was doing in the first and second. He was a lot more active in those first few rounds, and he's just taking his foot off the gas, shift down gears, and allowing Superlek to score with those right kicks.
It's a good stiff right hand to the top of the head there from Superlek as well, as Inahachi waded in. Under 40 seconds remains. We've got Inahachi trailing
This is a beautiful technical fight that's going on.
Hachi moves the left, jogs away, looks to his corner, resets. They tie up now. Got to stay offensive in the clinch. Olivia Cost doesn't see it, breaks them. Superlek moves into the knee. Just got it to the left rib cage. Final seconds here. We are going to go down to the judges in Singapore in our main event. Who will win the One Super Series Flyweight Kickboxing World title?
Check out this power displayed by Superlek. He knew the counter shots were coming. He would evade, make you miss, and then make you pay. Ilias was in there every step of the way, but he seemed to slow down in the last few rounds. According to you guys, how do you guys have it?
I have it unofficially 49-47 to Superlek.
And that first round was Ilias' best round. I gave him the second round. I thought he was active there, but just those last 3 rounds, Superlek found his groove and was landing with those big right kicks over and over again.
Okay, let's go to Tom Lau, find out our winner.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 rounds of battle, we turn now to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges have called this contest in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. And still one flyweight kickboxing world champion, Ilias Hachi.
Wow, Hachi takes it by decision here. I did not see that. Hachi reigns as the One Super Series Flyweight Kickboxing World Champion. The reign of gold continues. Rod Tung gives an ovation for both men. He's called out the winner. He's called out Hachi. He wants a crack at Hachi's world title.